Hey world, hope you're having a healthy day. And today, really excited to have Elissa Erman, who I have known for many years as a health coach. And today, very excited to have her and her sweet boy magic behind her in this video. And today's topic, we are going to talk about seniors during this challenging time. So first, Elissa, thanks for joining me today. So excited you're here with me on today's chat.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm a big fan and excited to connect.
Well, that's so great. So why don't you tell the world a little bit about you? As I mentioned, you're a coach. Whenever I've asked you, you always say, see your doctor. And I say, hey, I just spoke to my doctor. And then I refer back to you because I have so much in trust. You are so knowledgeable about health. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your background?
Thank you so much. So I'm actually a registered nurse. I'm a certified diabetes educator, certified health and wellness coach, and I have a background working in the hospital. I've worked at Walt Disney World's Wellness Center, the Center for Living Well. I helped start and create their wellness program there for their employees. And I now am actually in South Florida working with seniors. For years, I've been working with the senior population and just trying to help them stay as healthy as possible, as independent as possible, and live the most joy-filled lives as possible.
That's so fantastic. And I know that you really add so much value to the senior market. And how do you help seniors, especially during this challenging time?
Okay, yeah, great question. So what I would do with seniors is I do a lot of public speaking at senior facilities, but of course right now, since we're not gathering in groups, I am working with seniors individually, which I do all year round as well. And I work with them to help them kind of come up with their health goals, help them identify what they would like to do with their lives that they're not currently doing, what will bring them more joy, more happiness, and then we come up with different steps in order for them to take to reach those goals. The other thing I do a lot is I help people that have diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, just make lifestyle changes to improve their health and, of course, make them happier.
Yeah, that's great. So during this time that we're all facing, what should we be concerned about for seniors and that they should be aware about?
Yes, so one of the biggest concerns that a lot of people are having, and all of us really are having with the seniors, is the fact that they are so isolated. And that can create many, many different problems. It can start psychologically with depression, anxiety, which could, of course, end up manifesting into physical problems as well. But there's really so many different issues that could be going on with seniors. I mean, not just the depression and anxiety, which can lead to other types of problems, more mentally, emotionally, but also physically. But then again, I know seniors that really need to go to a doctor right now, and they're not able to because of what's going on. Either their doctor's not working, or their doctor's not working as much, or they're just scared to go to the doctor. So there's just a lot of different things going on. Also, access to food. Seniors that normally depend on takeout, carry out, now getting food delivered if they're not driving. They are, the cost, and there's just economic impact for everybody, especially with the seniors. One of the biggest things that I'm hearing from seniors is the fact that they can't see their families. Many of them who are used to seeing their families regularly aren't able to. I've had many of them crying on the phone with me, and it just breaks my heart. I see them really they're sitting in their homes alone, and not all of them know how to Skype. They don't know how to FaceTime. So again, as a coach, as a nurse, I try to look at the whole picture and what can we do to really improve their quality of life during this time. So that's really what I do and work with them individually on that.
That's great. And anything else that you could recommend maybe the family can try and do during this time to help?
So one of the biggest things that I would recommend for family members is to be checking in with your loved ones consistently, and maybe even have a scheduled time, because a lot of them are used to being on certain schedules, whether it's schedules for playing cards or schedules for dinner, and now they're really not on schedules. So you can actually create a time where say, hey, at 5 o'clock every day, I will be calling. Not only does that create structure for them, but it also gives them something to look forward to. So it gives them that, it's only an hour left. And even if you just talk to them the day before, I'm telling you, they look forward to that call. If you can FaceTime or Skype with them or do some type of video chat, that would be great. there's a lot of different things that we can do. And I think we're going to be talking about that today, Sid, as well, right? Some of the other opportunities that we have to support them.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk with you now. We have we put together a list of about 12 different items. So let's just dive in a little bit and talk about those. So the first one is, and everybody, you can see the different items as I'm sharing with you here as we're talking through it. So the first one is noon vitamins. What can you share about the, taking noon vitamins?
So the ones that we were referring to, they support the immune system. And again, when we look at the person, we want to look at the whole person. So we want to look at the physical components, the mental components, the emotional components, the spiritual components, the economic components, the environmental components. It's important to look at all of these, and of course, socially too. We can't just look at one. If we just look at the physical components, we're missing everything else. If we just look at the emotional, we could be missing some other things. So starting off with this list were the noon vitamins. It is a form of vitamin C. It's an immune booster. And what's interesting is a lot of people are on social media and the news saying there's really nothing people can do to help themselves. That's kind of the message of the day, every day, which is kind of this helpless feeling that there's nothing we can really do because it's just either going to happen, we're going to get sick, or we're not. And that is not true. And the reason we know that's not true is because even if somebody, let's just say, isn't drinking enough water, they will have repercussions of that. They will experience dehydration, right? But then when they start drinking the water, they actually feel better. So we know that physical things, when we put physical things in our bodies, we do have physical reactions. Now, it's similar with B vitamins. A lot of people know, or even vitamin D. In the past, vitamin D, if someone's been low in vitamin D, a lot of the times people have symptoms. Again, when we add that vitamin D back in with your doctor's okay, of course, that's when people, not only do their lab values go up, but that the symptoms a lot of the time go away. One of the biggest things I just want to mention too, with any of these things we recommend, just always make sure that you check with your doctor, okay, before you make any lifestyle changes. So just make sure you do that.
Great.
So I just want to mention one other thing about the vitamin C, though, is that so with vitamin C, you absolutely can do lab values to see your levels of vitamin C and things like that. But just so we know that vitamin C, being an antioxidant, it is an immune booster. So here's the way I look at it. If you have one person that is exposed to something without an immune boost in their system, they may not get sick, or they may. But the odds, I always try to look at the odds. So if I can improve my odds and hopefully prevent getting sick, what could possibly help? Well, logically, it makes sense. Something that would support my immune system would help my immune system be strong in a time of this. Now, to be clear, I just want to mention this. To be clear, this is not about curing. I'm not saying vitamin C is going to fix everything. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying if you take it, they're going to for sure be healthy. But the odds are definitely in our favor because of the mechanism of action of how vitamin C works in the body. So that's what we want to do.
That's great. And I've taken Noon over the years, and I love it because you just put the tab in the water, it dissolves, and then you drink it with your water, and it's easy to take, which will make it easy, I think, for the senior market as well. So the next one is...
Actually, I want to mention that that's a really good point, Sid, because when they do drink it, it becomes in a... it's in a liquid form, which it's easier for their bodies to absorb. A lot of seniors, their digestive systems over the years, actually really at about age 30, people's digestive system starts not working as well. Sometimes earlier, sometimes a little bit later, but that's kind of the average age. And yeah, absolutely. So when we take those liquid vitamins, the research shows our body can absorb them better most of the time. So it is a very highly bioavailable source of vitamin C. So good point on that.
Yep. So right now is a good time to keep that mental state going, and that's where chess and checkers can come in.
So here's the thing. If they're alone, they're not going to be playing chess and checkers by themselves, right? So we have some other things that we'll mention in a few minutes. Yeah. But if they have somebody to play with, I was actually talking with somebody's caregiver yesterday, and she said that she was actually playing chess with her client. So it just warmed my heart because it's something that he really enjoyed. And she said he won, which is good. It gives him that good feeling of accomplishment. Yep. Bottom line is not only does it keep our brains active, keeps our mind away from the craziness really that's going on and sadness that's going on, but it gives us a break. I mean, we still know that the craziness is going on. We still know that that sadness is going on, but it gives our mind a break, which we need. We need that. And it's fun. So it brings joy in. And then also it is good for, of course, the brain, because it's a game, works the brain.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't played chess or checkers in a long time, but certainly those are fun.
You know what? I think I haven't either, but I think we could do a virtual game.
Yeah, we'll have to, and
We'll do it.
Let's do it. Next one is a DVD player.
Okay, so with the DVD players, hopefully your seniors, if you're a senior yourself or your family members that are seniors, hopefully they have a DVD player. If they do, I really recommend that and hopefully they know how to work it. Okay, and hopefully it's working. If it is, then one of the things we want to do is definitely connect with them, ask them if there's any movies that they'd like to see. You can find movies and have them delivered, of course, to their homes. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting out some DVDs specifically for seniors very soon. So if anyone's interested in those, you can go to my website. It's universalcoachingservices.com. And I will be, or look for me on Facebook, Elissa Erman, so it'll give you that information after. And we will be putting DVDs out specifically for seniors, which have some food demonstrations with smoothies and some other things, some health talks. And we're doing a really fun virtual Name That Tune, which will be great too, with Frank Sinatra and the gang.
Oh, awesome. That's fantastic. Can't wait to see your new DVDs. So another thing that you had recommended is brain game books.
Right. So if they're alone, especially they're not able to play games like chess, checkers, or any other games that they like, the brain game books are great. And here's the thing. Truthfully, how old am I? 30. Like, how old am I? I'm 38. And I think those books are good for me. Those game books are great for me. They're really great for any age. They do work different parts of the brain. Now, I want to make a couple comments about this that people don't always realize. So I recommend getting a variety book because it does work different parts of the brain, and it creates different synapses, different connections in the brain as they're working the puzzles. Now, so crossword puzzles work different parts of the brain than word searches. Word searches work different parts of the brain than Sudoku. Now, one of the biggest things that people don't know or don't even think about is after someone has had a brain injury, whether it's a stroke, whether it's a car accident, any type of brain injury, there are a lot of the time, if there's still some damage and symptoms that are showing that there's still damage after the actual injury, a lot of the times there are certain types of puzzles that don't work for that person. So I have clients that are not able to do word searches, but they could do crosswords all day long because they've had a certain type of brain injury. So just connect with your seniors, ask them what do they like to do, what works for them. But I still recommend giving them that book, getting them a variety book for different brain games, get them a couple different kinds of books. And if they say, hey, I can't do this, and they're kind of frustrated about it, just explain to them, that's okay, don't worry about it, try it if you can, but don't push yourself. If they push too much, they can become symptomatic. It can create problems. Sometimes they'll start it a little bit and do it for a minute, maybe try to work their way up if they can. Sometimes it's just too intense. They can't do it at all. So it's just, you want to honor what they can do. If they can do a little bit and just kind of work their way up and try to build some new connections. Again, if not, then we just want to honor that.
Great. Next one, and I love quote books. One of my favorites. It ain't over till it's over. Yogi Berra.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good quote. I like that. All right. So for the quote books, my intention behind that is to just find a positive, inspiring quote book, or even just inspirational books. That could be a Bible. That could be a spiritual book. That could be a prayer book. It could be a biography that's inspiring. Anything that's inspiring to try to bring that positive energy. We want to just bring positive energy to these seniors during this time in any way that we can that supports them. Some seniors have trouble reading, so just make sure that if you're going to buy them a book, make sure that you know that they can read small print. You could always get big print, large print books, or some audio books for them, or if they use Kindle or something like that, you can hopefully teach them, if they don't already know, how to get the audio function so the book can be read to them and the quotes can be read to them.
Oh, that's fantastic. Viktor Frankl books.
Oh, yes. So that's one of the other inspiring books that I really recommend, A Man's Search for Meaning. So that would just be another one to add to the list. Really, really inspiring. Tell you quick about him. Have you heard of him, Sid?
I haven't. I learned so much from you. It's great.
Okay. So he was actually in the Holocaust, in the concentration camp, and he survived. And the story of how he survived is beyond powerful. It really is beyond powerful. And I think it's life-changing to read this book. So I totally recommend that book. It's really fabulous for anybody to read.
There was actually, talking about the Holocaust, and I'll post the obituary, but somebody who I think was 98, he's one of the last survivors of Auschwitz, had just passed away. So
wow.
I'll share that. Kind of gives me chills. Next thing is I'm a big snacker, but the problem is there's a lot of snacks that are not healthy, and I know that you're really stressed about healthy snacks. And so what can you share about some healthy snacks?
Okay, so with healthy snacks, my goodness, I could talk about this for hours. So how can I sum this up in just a moment here? When it comes to healthy snacks, what I would just encourage everybody is to provide your seniors with food that will nourish them.
Yeah.
So what's food that would nourish them? Well, that's food that's actually from the ground. That's real food, not food that was made in a factory, okay? So for example, your chips, your cookies, things like that. Now, factories can make foods with natural ingredients too, okay? But I'm talking about man-made ingredients that we're eating, a lot of seniors are eating every single day. And yes, there's a lot of research that's out there that talks about how man-made foods can be detrimental to people's health. But the truth is a lot of seniors just, from my experience, a lot of them either don't want to pay attention. A lot of them don't really believe that it makes that much of a difference, but it really, really can. One of the biggest foods, of course, we know are these artificial sweeteners. I recommend stevia or monk fruit instead of artificial sweeteners. Now, in terms of snacks, depending on what your senior likes, you want to check with them. What do they like to eat? I mean, if you can encourage them to have fresh fruits, vegetables, if they can eat that, or if they need applesauce, fresh applesauce that doesn't have added sugar. And then, of course, if they can do healthy nuts and seeds, so that would be walnuts, almonds, Brazil nuts, macadamia nuts, and you can get those in different butters too and have them sent. So instead of peanut butter, you can get almond butter, have that sent to their house. When it comes to snacks, it's such a big topic. I mean, I really could talk about this all day, so I guess I'll just sum it up with eat snacks that are ingredients more often than snacks that have ingredients. So having celery more often than celery, it's kind of a bad example, but celery flavored crackers doesn't mean never to have the celery flavored crackers. If they even exist, I don't know. But if they do, you'll find them. But
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying. So you just want to eat foods that are less processed.
Yeah. I was watching a video the other night, and it's a company that does about helping with sleeping and snacking. A lot of people snack late at night. So his sleep snack tip is, instead of snacking, you ideally want to go to sleep late, and you could share otherwise, but he thought taking a spoonful of like almond butter will fill you up, and you'll get a better night's sleep and not toss and turn, and rather than eating some things to make you feel like you're full and not very healthy and it adds to the belly. So I thought it was an interesting little tip there.
Yeah, and thank you for adding that. What's interesting is that truly, from my experience and what the research shows, is everyone's body is different and everyone's digestive system is different. So there are some people that can have a scoop of almond butter and feel great. And then there's some people that will have a scoop of almond butter and wake up with acid coming up in their throat because it's like producing acid, trying to break it down throughout the night. But it is important to make sure that you're still, speaking of food with seniors, and again, we can only do so much, especially if our seniors are not near us and we're not caring for them, but we can certainly still encourage them. And any seniors watching this, I encourage you to do the best you can to try to stick to your scheduled meals the best you can when it comes to eating, because we still want to make sure that we're eating, again, with our doctor's recommendations.
Good stuff.
And one other thing one more thing I want to mention with the food, just because that celery chip example wasn't the best example, but I've used this many times in my presentations. I tell people to have apples more often than applesauce more often than apple juice, and apple juice more often than apple flavored Jolly Ranchers. Doesn't mean you're never going to have the apple flavored Jolly Ranchers, but apples more often if they can chew them. If not, again, applesauce, like a nice natural applesauce.
It's funny because I used to eat apples all the time, and talking about digestion, I have a very sensitive stomach. So for a while there, I just went to a healthier form of applesauce so I could still have that. And so, try and do that. And so I think it's the peel on the apple that sometimes makes my stomach more sensitive.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, again, everyone's body is different. Sometimes digestive enzymes can help with that.
Yep.
And then sometimes people just need to stay away from it. Just depends.
Yeah. So next thing is coffee table books. There's so many great coffee table books.
So why I picked different coffee table books is because they're big. You can see them. The pictures are bright. They're vibrant a lot of the time. So that's just, again, if we think about a senior, we want to do what we can to bring joy into their lives, to bring lightness into their lives, to bring peace, harmony, positivity into their lives. In coffee table books, when you're sitting with a big coffee table book and they're reading, like especially if they enjoy flowers and it's a big book with flowers and they can see the flowers and they're flipping the pages, it's kind of like they're with the flowers in real life. They kind of, their mind, and our mind too. I mean, everybody, when we're looking at it, we kind of have that connection. And especially when it's big and vibrant, it kind of feels like it's real. And again, these people are not really going out of the house too much right now. So it's something that can help try to bring the outside in. But it doesn't just have to be flowers or outside nature type books. It could be Broadway coffee table books, Frank Sinatra coffee table books. It could be anything that they're passionate about. So again, anything that you can do to connect with them, find out what are they passionate about. It could be fashion, get them a book on fashion. Gives them something to do, gives them something to read, but also something to really look at and connect with.
Yeah. Next, the Rat Pack.
Oh, the Rat Pack. I was talking about that with the books, like different, like a coffee table book with the rat. Yeah.
Gotcha. Great. And then, of course, you got Sweet Magic behind you. So books on dogs and cats. Any thoughts there?
Again, if the person likes dogs, the person likes cats, I would just recommend getting them a big coffee table book with that so they can look at pictures. I'm telling you, it just can brighten their day. It can brighten my day. There's times where I love birds and I have some bird coffee table books, and there's times I've looked through them and it just brightens my day seeing these birds. So yeah.
And the last one, obviously, is a digital picture frame. And I think I'd love to hear more what your thoughts are on that.
So there's a couple different things when it comes to pictures. Most people know that most seniors love pictures of their family most of the time. When it comes to pictures, the first thing is absolutely we can send them pictures, right? Like just regular paper pictures or whatever, just regular pictures. But something else that's pretty neat is they have these electronic picture frames that they can keep in their home, and you can actually control them from your home and upload pictures every day if you want, new pictures, and they'll be sitting in their living room or wherever this frame is, and all of a sudden a new picture of their granddaughter, their grandson, their grandcat, magic behind me, their grandcat, or whoever, or even of nature, what you're doing in your day, it can pop up, and now you're bringing that positivity into their world. It's a really nice thing, and it helps them feel connected to you. It helps them feel like they matter because you're taking time to actually do this for them. And it makes them feel good that they can see you, and it helps them feel not so alone. Yeah,
that's great. So many great ideas. Any last thoughts, words of wisdom, how people can reach out? Again, I know you mentioned the website, and I will put that in the description to your website and your Facebook page. Any last thoughts that you could share on this topic during this challenging time, and any positive influences that you could share and thoughts as we wrap up?
So I would end with saying that this is a challenging time for everybody. It really is.
Yeah.
It's affecting everybody in so many ways. And whether the person is a senior that you care about or not a senior, whoever the person is, but especially if they're a senior and someone that you love and care about, I really recommend reaching out and just seeing how they're doing consistently, but also asking them, how can I support you? What can I do to help bring more joy into your life right now? And I really recommend starting out with compassion and just saying, hey, you know, mom, dad, whoever, I know this is really a challenging time. You being positive, hey, we're going to get through this. While we're in it, what can I do to help bring more happiness to you? Or what can I do to help support you? Do you have groceries? Start with the basics. Do you have groceries? Then think about if you want to give them some type of supplement with their doctors, okay, like the vitamin C we talked about to help support them. And then go into some of these other things. Okay, what would bring you more peace right now? And you can certainly dialogue about your interactions with them. Again, going back to that structured time, how often would you like to be talking to me, or what if you'd like to come up with that? But also, really, really, once you show that compassion, then shift into support and encouragement. Just, again, asking what they need and doing the best you can to help meet those needs.
Awesome. Well, okay. This was a great conversation today. I look forward to so many more conversations. Thank you so much. I know you're going to be a big help to Elissa. Please reach out to her. She is really a book full of knowledge. It's truly amazing when I have a conversation, ask her questions. She's great. And I really appreciate you joining us today. And stay tuned for many more helpful tips from the one and only Elissa Erman.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity. It's been great.
Thank you so much. Have a healthy day.
Okay, you too.